Hi and welcome to day three, I can work out what day we're on then, of the Find Your Time challenge. Obviously again my efforts didn't work yesterday in terms of making the video better, so I'm on to plan B. I've ditched the Wi-Fi altogether. I'm now on my mobile phone and on the 4G, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it might be a bit of a better video for you. So we shall see when it's finished. So Day three is a bit of a reality check. So yesterday I asked you to make 3 different lists. So you now should have a list of the things that you don't like doing, the things that you're not very good at doing, and the things that, thinking back to day 1 and the whole value of your time issue, the things that you think you shouldn't be doing because they're sort of lower value tasks than you should be spending your time on. So that's 3 lists that you should have. So you've sat down and you've thought about the things that you do. Maybe you've used the list I uploaded this morning just to sort of give you a memory jogger. And you've got these 3 lists of all these things that in theory then are the things that you should look to delegate. The things that you don't like doing, the things that you're not very good at, they're all going to be taking you longer, either because of lack of skill or because of procrastination, because you don't like doing them, or the things that are just lower value tasks that you shouldn't be doing. You should be spending your time on better things. So that's potentially quite a long list of things that you need to delegate. So what we need to do, I'm just going to sneeze I think, excuse me, no, it's gone. So what we need to do with today's task is to try and start to dwindle that list down, or not dwindle the list down, prioritise the list. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of a reality check. So this is probably the least enjoyable task I'm going to set you. If you think back to days when you're employed, you may well have had time and motion studies where they sit and they make you track everything you do, all your time during the day. Basically, that's what I'm going to ask you to do. So it's a pain. We all know it's a pain, but it is really the best way of establishing what you're actually spending your time on. So this whole long list of tasks that you think, okay, these are the things that I need to be delegating because they're the things that are eating up my time because I'm not doing them as quickly as I could, whatever. Probably the reality is you're not going to be able to afford to get rid of all of them at this stage. So we need to start to prioritise that list. So by doing the activity tracker and tracking what you're doing during the day, that's going to help us to find out what's actually taking up your time. Okay, so when I upload the workbook, when we've finished here, there's 2 different activity logs attached to the workbook. Just 2 different ways of tracking your time. So it's entirely up to you which one you prefer to use. One that you sort of list, if you do, if you're fairly repetitive on the tasks you do, there's sort of 5 different columns, and you can title each of the columns and then just sort of tick off the times when you're doing those tasks. If you work in blocks, chunks of time for tasks, you might prefer the other one where you just sort of write down what it is you're doing and track it that way. So there's 2 options for you there. Of course, you know, we're now in the 21st century, so if you're using time tracking software already, which you may be doing to track the time that you're spending on client work, there's absolutely no reason why you can't just extend how you use that, and you sort of put in extra tasks, obviously not under a client, but you can extend the way you use that. So if you prefer to do that electronically. Hello, are we back? Can you still hear me? Sorry about that, it just went off and said it was trying to reconnect. So yeah, so there's 2 different activity sheets on the back of this workbook, or alternatively use software that you're already using to track your time and just extend the projects, set up new projects for your other times that you're not already tracking. So that's it for today really, just to track what you're doing. Now obviously we'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and if you can have tracked your time tomorrow, that's great because we can start to use that. But in an ideal world, you really need to track your time probably for a week as a minimum, ideally maybe even for a month, so that you get an idea over a period of time. You know, tomorrow is just one random day, it might not necessarily be representative of all your days, So if you can do it over a longer period of time, you'll get busy days, quiet days, different times of the month. So if you do month end stuff, etc. So the longer you can do it, the more of a realistic view you'll get. But if you can do it tomorrow, then that at least gives us a starting point, and you can start to make some decisions, and you can just feed that, keep that going maybe over next week if you've got time. If you're desperate and you want to be starting delegating stuff next week, then fine, it'll give you a bit of an idea. If you've got a bit of time, and you can maybe do your tracking over next week as well, and maybe give you a better idea. So make a start tomorrow, that'd be great, and I'll see you back here at 4 o'clock for the final day of the challenge. If you've got any questions, or there's anything you want to feed back to me, or anything you want to sort of add, then please use the Facebook group, pop a comment, either a comment below the video or pop a post up. If there's anything you want me to look at, then pop a file into the file section and just tag me, and I can take a look at it for you. Okay, good luck with that, and I shall see you tomorrow.